This is a Fox News alert. Sorry to disturb your holiday weekend, everybody, but it appears that North Korea has successfully detonated a nuclear weapon. They have done a nuclear test. It is the second nuclear test that they have successfully performed. The last one way back in 2006. This one bigger and better. The first indications that the outside world had that they had conducted this nuclear test came from the South Korean weather services. They detected what seemed to be an earthquake, an underground tremor of the force of 4.7 on the Richter scale. Well, it turns out that tremor was indeed a nuclear test conducted by the North Koreans. Let me read from their release, the government release there. North Korea successfully conducted one more underground nuclear test on May 25th as part of the measures to bolster up its nuclear deterrent for self-defense in every way. The statement goes on to say the underground test was safely conducted on a new, higher level in terms of its explosive power and technology of its control. The reported test appears to be aimed at securing ultimate endorsement of nuclear power status from the United States. So we have a situation there where the rogue nation, once referred by President George W. Bush as one of the axis of evil, has now honed this weapon. You remember they received this nuclear technology from the rogue Pakistani nuclear physicist A.Q. Khan, who visited there in North Korea. Now the communist nation, which is so troublesome and has a huge standing army in the midst of all its own domestic problems, very unstable place. They have now detonated this nuclear weapon. We have not had our scientists confirming, even with an underground nuclear test, as I understand it, they can confirm through the kind of dust and things like that come up from the underground test, the radioactive component of it, so they can verify. But we are hearing from many sources. In fact, the financial markets in the neighboring nation of South Korea have already dropped 4 to 5%. There is real concern there, obviously more immediate concern there. We are hearing from Vietnam and Japan, to other neighboring nations, that they will be responding shortly. Our David Piper is on the phone in Bangkok, Thailand. David, what are you hearing there from your point of view in Southeast Asia?
Well, there'll be a lot of concern right across the region, particularly in Northeast Asia, Japan, South Korea, as you said. They've been in negotiations with the North for years now, those six-nation talks, and they collapsed about a month ago, and North Korea did warn then that it was going to conduct a second nuclear test, and it's done it now, despite warnings from the Obama administration. We had a U.S. Special Envoy, Stephen Bosworth, touring the region recently, warning of consequences if North Korea did it.
Okay, we've temporarily lost David. We'll get back to him. But Gordon Chang, are you there, Gordon Chang?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. Gordon Chang joins me. He's the author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. So, Gordon, we can't say or suggest that we are surprised by this. Several weeks ago, they did warn that they were going to resume their underground tests. Isn't that a fact?
Well, certainly it is, and clearly there have been indications of a test. We have seen the trucks pull up to their underground nuclear site. So we knew that it was coming, but we didn't think that it was going to come this quick. And many people were saying it wasn't going to come until July or August. So the timing is a surprise, but not the fact that it occurred.
Well, it just brings to mind to me I feel some sense of calm that their missile didn't work. It plopped into the Pacific Ocean. I think that the juxtaposition of a successful missile launch with the successful detonation of a nuclear weapon would be very unsettling for the world political scene. But what are the implications, as you see them, Gordon, of the successful detonation of the nuclear explosion?
Well, one of the most important things is that we often forget it. You know, North Korea, of course, is the world's major proliferator of missile and nuclear technology, But one of the things that we forget was that in 2006 it had an unsuccessful missile test and a fizzle of a nuclear test. Now, you can't sell things around the world unless your weapons work. And so, therefore, North Korea had to test the bomb again to show to the Iranians and to the others that it had mastered the technology. And now I think we're going to see a new wave of proliferation from North Korea. So this is the most important thing for us at this moment.
So you think it was a commercial decision so they could sell their wares on the international arms market that caused them to explode that weapon today?
Well, certainly that was a major factor. There are a couple of other things. Kim Jong-il, the leader of North Korea, wants to prove that he's popular at home and around the world, and certainly a nuclear test helps him do that. And also, you have Kim wanting to get things out of the international community, and he's known that when he's destabilized the world, he's gotten much more from the United States and others. So there are a number of other factors, but clearly the one that's going to affect us the most is the proliferation of nuclear technology to unstable and dangerous states in the Middle East.
To knock that distressing possibility off track, is it possible that there could be a preemptive military strike on North Korea?
It's possible, but I don't think that we're going to do that because the Obama administration has made it pretty clear that it wants to talk its way out of this problem rather than to use military force.
One thing I've seen, I only have a couple of seconds, Gordon. One thing I have noticed in scanning all of the wires that the Chinese apparently, and they are right next door, have not yet reacted. Any idea what their reaction will be?
They're supporting North Korea. They've given North Korea the one thing that they needed most to make themselves a real menace, and that has been time. Since 2003, when the six-party talks began, China has stood behind North Korea. And sometime we're going to have to recognize that in Washington.
So the Chinese and the North Koreans, again, partners, even though it is destabilizing the current political situation worldwide, Gordon.
Yes. I mean, this is not in China's long-term interest, and people in Beijing know this, but right now there is no consensus to change the long-held policy at the senior levels of the Communist Party and the People's Liberation Army to support North Korea because they see short-term advantages, including bedeviling the United States.
Well, bedeviling the United States, of that I am certain. We will have a very bedeviled national capital. I'm sure that they're scurrying around. Gordon Chang, thank you very much.